Hey, 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 everyone.
Hey
Nice,
guys,
nice to have you back for another episode. We have another fun topic for everyone today,
we sure do.
and we really hope that it opens up your mindset a little bit, have you thinking about some things, and make a positive move in your life towards something different.
Definitely.
So, today we are talking about things that scare you. So, it is something that we all can relate to in some sense, where we have something that we hold ourselves back from for whatever reason it may be. And we wanted to talk to y'all today about this because with losing our parents, our mindsets have changed on those things that scare us.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
for
they've
sure.
changed. They have changed. And it also can lead to adding to the list of things that scare us, which we don't necessarily want to do, but it happens. We're only human.
Yeah, of course. You
You're
know.
going to get what you get. So, Cassie, I always love to start off with you because there's only two of us. I don't really have anyone else to choose.
Oh,
What
you're.
is something that you have done that is something that scares you, but you've accomplished it by doing it or conquered it by doing it?
So for me, this actually happened before my dad got sick again for the second time. But I would say the scariest thing that I had done was moved away from home.
Mm.
As soon as I finished college, like that next month, I moved from Connecticut to Virginia. Like within like 4 weeks, I got a job and I had to go apartment hunting and like all these things. And I was just like, why not just go for it? Because I don't have any kids. Like I'm not in a relationship, like nothing like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and do it because I remember one of my college professors has always said, like, you're never going to, like, truly succeed in life unless you're willing to, like, move and see different things and kind of, like, build your resume and get different experiences and cultures and things like that, and that actually really stuck with me.
I remember
Um,
you saying that before.
yeah, and it's something that I still try to live by to this day. I don't know why, you know me, I don't really remember a lot of things.
Child, let's not go there.
But that's one thing that just kind of, like, stuck with me, and so when I moved, I was like, I remember crying the entire, like, 7-hour drive down there with
Oh
my
my
mom. I
gosh.
was like I had my, like, shades on, like, so that she couldn't see me, like, completely, like, losing my shit.
She knew you was crying anyways.
She probably did, but, like, I was terrified, like, I was moving to a brand new place, I had 0 friends, I didn't have any family, like, I knew not a soul down there in Virginia, and I was terrified, and I was like, "What am I doing?"
Mm, yeah,
Um,
that's a big move. That's a lot of traveling just to get to that new spot. And like you said, starting fresh with new friends and new everything.
it was rough. It was completely starting over, let me tell you. And learning how to, like, function being an adult, you know, fresh out of college, like, paying bills and, like, all this kinda stuff too, so,
The fun stuff.
ugh, gotta love it. Um,
Wow.
but that was challenging, but now that I look back at it, I couldn't have been more grateful for actually finding, like, the balls to actually do it, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't take that risk.
Mm,
Um,
hmm.
and, I that's just something that, scared me in the moment, but looking back at it, you're grateful for actually, like, going through those things.
Right, because now you've moved twice and still not back in state.
That is true, and oddly enough, that kind of happened in weird timing too, because by the time I moved from Virginia back to New York to be close to the family is when my dad started, getting sick again, and it was just very weird, very, very weird timing. I probably moved back in the area, like, 2 years before he started getting sick, so it's just really funny how things kinda, like, work out and the universe, just kind of, like, puts things together where it's supposed to be.
It really is. I remember the drive
Oh, yeah, that's right.
helping you move. to the
Oh, that is
city. Oh
right.
my gosh.
Bless your heart for
Was
being
it
stuck in a car with my parents all the way down to come and get me.
was it the Henry Hudson and the Hutchinson are two different parkways?
Oh,
I
good lord. That was a nightmare.
need to call, what were they called? The something authorities. I need to call the roadside authorities or something.
So we can figure out what the parkway is because you couldn't take the
Yes.
U-Haul.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Every time I actually drive past any of those signs, I literally think of that. Or if I just hear like Henry Hudson or Hutchinson,
I
it's just
do
like,
too.
oh, let me make sure I pay attention right now because they are not the same thing. There's a
Right.
lot of H's. I'm just saying. A lot of
I
H's.
know.
Starts you
We
all
were
off.
so confused, but we figured it out, so we didn't get stuck, thankfully.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause for
Wow.
anybody that doesn't know, you can't drive, like, big trucks, like U-Hauls and, UPS trucks can't even go on parkways, so be mindful if you're in the New York area.
Mm. Yeah, you ain't gonna find me on that one. Stay in my little car.
Oh,
Wow.
man. But that actually I'm glad that you brought that up too because you have been there for me in so many, like, important stages of my life, and I just couldn't be more grateful for you as a friend for, like,
You're welcome.
always being there. It's just you're always in the right place at the right time, and I just appreciate and I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too. Oh, don't get all sentimental in here.
You know me, I can't help it sometimes.
The little love bug. Oh, yeah, no, I flow and I go and I just go where I'm supposed to be. I'm probably sure I'm supposed to be places and I don't end up there either, but for my people, I be where I need to be. Or at least I try to. So
Well, it's definitely noted, so
thank you. I'm
you
glad you
are.
see that.
Of course. But so, Amanda, go ahead
Cassie.
and tell me and all of our beautiful listeners, what is something that scares you that you've done?
Ooh, child. Well, we'll start with living without my mom.
That's
not
probably the
not that it's a
biggest.
joke, but that was especially after losing my grandmother, I really didn't know what like I never expected to live without my mom so soon. So I just figured I'd have to wait until she's like old and
Right.
elderly. And I always stressed out thinking like I have to move away from her at some point. What am I going to do? Am I going to put her in a home? Am I going to keep her with me? Do I have to make extra money so I can have an in-law suite? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but right now, um, the thing that I've done that scared me was accepting change.
That's a hard one.
It, yeah. Most of my life, and I remember going through most of my 20s, I have been very unaccepting of change and I had a hard time adapting to just what was outside of my perception or my ideals. And I feel like the person I am today is just so ready for change. I'm just so ready and willing. And I know part of it is not having my mom here too, because
Yeah.
then I feel like I'm not as attached to anyone. I have my sister and my niece and nephew, and I love them dearly. And it's not that I'm not attached to them. And I
Mhm.
have you and Nat and, Rose, Crystal, the God babies, everyone, my family.
Yeah.
And once again, not that I'm not attached, but that relationship with
It's
my mom was
different.
so different.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now I don't feel alone, even though sometimes I do feel alone, but I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm in a state of so much solitude where I'm just kind of ready to up and move somewhere and let me just go and live somewhere else. And it's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah. I know
So
you've
that,
talked about it for so long.
right, moving down south, somewhere warm, somewhere hot,
Mhm.
I appreciate Connecticut and I respect it for growing up in a place that has all seasons. Absolutely respect that.
Yeah.
Without the snow, I wouldn't be the magnificent driver that I am today.
Oh, God.
So
Trust because Virginia drivers, I'm sorry, but y'all can't drive.
anyone who doesn't get snow regularly, I'm sorry. I just feel like now remember I said I feel like, so that doesn't mean that it applies, but this is just my feeling. Y'all don't drive too well in the snow. I'm just
Not at
saying.
all.
Y'all make me nervous.
Definitely.
But actually, something I'm working on right now, not like right now, but I'm in the process of moving towards is changing my career so I can also move. So like a two for
Exciting.
oneer. Yeah, yeah. I am very grateful for my job. I'll tell you, I'm grateful for everything I have. Whether it's my home stuff that's materialistic or just even characteristics that I carry.
Yeah.
I get down to the nitty gritty.
Well, those are
But
2 huge changes. Like, I feel like you're gonna be in such a shock, like, when it actually does happen.
yes, I know I will be, and I need I not that I need it, but it's just something on my list that I've been waiting to experience.
Yeah,
And especially with the way the world is going now, it's just so much is so unpredictable, and just in general, we don't know how much time we have.
exactly.
So it's something I feel like that's on my bucket list and I need to check it off the list,
Yeah,
you
that
know?
should, and I agree. I think it would be really beneficial for you too.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I bought my condo, that's why I bought my condo, so I can rent it out when
Mhm.
I live somewhere else. And then if I move
Yep.
somewhere else, well, not if, excuse me, let's put it into existence. When I move somewhere else, then I have my condo to fall back onto if I need to for any reason.
Yeah,
You
that's true.
know, I got my plan B, my little backup here if there's no one living in my condo at the time. Or, if I want to have it as an Airbnb, if they even still exist anymore. And,
I think
you
so.
know, if I want to primarily live somewhere else, but have this as a space to come back to visit my family. Because, yes, people, I'm trying to be living that life where I have that flexibility to work remotely and just travel back and forth and live not necessarily a luxurious life, but,
Come on, but
you
the
know,
life you wanna live.
a healthy and wealthy life. Okay.
Exactly, and kudos to you for starting your investment journey at such a young age too.
Thank you.
Very smart move to do.
Thank you, girl. I don't feel young. My birthday's coming. So, oh, child. I feel like the clock is ticking.
Mhm.
Tick, tick, tock, tock. I ain't got time. I
Aren't we
don't have
all?
time.
And that's the thing too, when you lose somebody that's so close to you is that you just have this, like, panic mode where you're like, life is like, you always hear people say, like, you only live once and life is too
Mm-hmm.
short and all this kind of stuff, but, like, when you actually lose somebody, you're like, "Holy shit, like, life is way too short, like, I should have done, like, X, Y, and Z, like,
Mm.
why was I so mean?" Or, like, "Why did I do this or that?" Or whatever the case might be, and it just kind of, like, brings that, like, I guess, like, shock factor into you and just, like, "I need to do this, like, now, and you need to do everything, like, right now because
Yeah,
tomorrow is not promised in any way, shape, or form."
that's very true. You're just, yeah, it's that little, what's that little thing with the sand in it? The little timer. I never know the correct name of it. It's a
An
capsule that has the
hourglass.
sand hourglass. Thank you. I cannot, I just can't, I couldn't think of the word, but it's literally like that. Like someone just flipped it on you. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up and go.
That's actually
What
a
is
really
this?
good analogy, I like that.
Only if I came up with the word soon enough, it would have been better, but little
I think we get
teamwork.
the point, though.
Little teamwork. That little thing that has the sand. Um, but even in my case, with wanting to uproot and do something different and live somewhere different, a part of it has to deal with my mom
Yeah,
because she has literally since my grandfather and my family had moved here because he was in the Navy. My mom has only lived here. She hasn't moved anywhere else after. They've been
wow,
here since the early 70s. And
really?
yeah, so
Mm,
she, worked the same job for 30 plus years. And, she had other part time jobs that she worked as well with a lot of tenure to them.
yeah,
But it for me, that's just too much on repeat. And I understand a good job and good benefits,
of
but
course.
like I've said before, she hasn't vacationed and taken time off for herself. And I can't do that. I
Yeah,
need
no,
to
it's
make sure that
important.
I get out and explore. She did travel when she was on her bowling league. That was before I was born too. So it was like, damn, like did I cramp for style? I don't know. But I just want to make sure that I'm not. living in hindrance, because I don't know how she would tell her story at the end of her life as to, was she satisfied, or should she have done more, or should she have done less? I don't
Yeah,
know how she would write it out, but I know for myself, I can't have that same kind of ending where
right.
I need to make sure for what I consider as value for my life, I need to add that value.
Yeah, definitely, and it's like, you know, just getting stuck and being comfortable in that routine. We all kind of like fall into a routine like on a day-to-day basis, and life just kind of like passes you by, and you like
Yes.
just wake up one day and you're like, where the hell did the time go? Like you hear,
Mhm.
moms and stuff, they're like, my kids like grow too fast and all these things, and it just goes right before your eyes because you're so busy of doing the same thing like day in and day out, and
Mhm.
it's so important to kind of like break out of that and change and be the best you. Not saying you can't be the best you, like staying in that
Right.
routine, but you kind of shake things up a little bit and stop being scared. That's something that I've realized for myself in recent times too.
Keeping aware, keeping in mind, writing things down, putting it in front of you, to just be like, why am I holding back from that, or why am I scared of this, and
Right.
why am I taking a couple extra steps to the right so I won't be as close to this anymore?
Yeah, because it's really fear is just really all in your head. It's just all these like conceptions that you just
It's a mindset.
create, because you're scared. And you really have to be one, you have to be aware that you're doing it. So that way, like you said, it's about your mindset. Like once you're aware, you can learn to change those thoughts that you're having and like turn them into things that is productive and not making you so fearful and scared. Because at the end of the day, we are only here for a short time and something might seem out of your reach. But if you stop being scared and just take the steps to go there, like you have no idea what can happen. And you might not know what you're doing when you're doing it, but it'll come into play like eventually together.
Yeah, you figure it out. It will work itself together. Or you just do what we do in any other situation, and that's go a different route, right? If it's not
Exactly.
working, then you just, okay, let me just hit a left instead because I went right and it wasn't right for me.
Yeah.
So let me just go on this way and see what we got down here. Let's see what's popping on the other side. But um it it it's funny because while you're talking, I was just thinking about career change, and I feel like COVID has made it more of an open mindset for a lot of people with career change
Yeah,
and change in general. I feel like it has been um, allowing people to kind of go into those areas that they were fearful of a little bit.
definitely. Because a lot of people didn't have a choice.
That too. Yeah, that definitely is a big one. But it's weird because I do feel more inspired this year for more change than I feel like I've recently noticed,
Yeah.
for other times.
Well, it could be too, kind of like in my experience, it's been 4 years now since I lost my dad, and I
Right.
feel like after the first, like, 2 to 3 years, that, like, numbness starts to kind of fade, and you start, like, realizing those things. So I don't know if it's that way for you, but I know that you're kind of, like, in that time frame, and I think that's probably why you might be having those feelings is because like, that trauma that you went through is just kind of
Mhm.
starting to, like, slowly, like, fade a little bit.
Right. It could be. I know a good part of it is because I currently don't like the job I'm doing right now, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
It's always a
Um,
motivator.
it's not that I don't like my job, it's just that I'm not feeling satisfaction from what I do,
Yeah,
and I just need to endure change. And I will say I am still being partially fearful around that because I use the line of, well, I have my dog, and when I move, who's going to help me to take care of him? Because my cousin helps me every day I'm at work to take him out
yeah.
because he can't wait all day for me to get home to go to the bathroom again. So, yes, I do have a small excuse in here that's allowing me to hold on to some of my fear. And I'm only human. And I hope that excuse goes away sometime soon. And I just braven up a little bit and allow myself to not be so hindered by a little simple thought.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Mindset Talks podcast.
Mindset Talks.
We hope that you guys enjoy this episode. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk to you later.